is Randelle Lusk. I'm a local to Fort St. John, Charlie Lake more specifically. I grew up here and moved away in my early to mid-20s, and that's when I found yoga, and it really changed my life.
In her younger years, Calgary was the place to make money and climb the corporate ladder.
My job is very stressful, so I started doing yoga to cope with the stress, and I just totally fell in love with it. From there, I realized that I wanted to be a yoga teacher, so I moved back to Fort St. John to become a yoga teacher, and there was the opportunity here to create a yoga studio and build a yoga community, which has been something that I'm incredibly grateful for in my life.
And others here are grateful for Randelle's teachings. There are local yogis and also those that move here for career purposes and then discover the yoga network.
So the yoga community in Fort St. John, it's small, but it's growing. The really interesting thing about the community here is that there's locals, but there's a lot of people coming into Fort St. John for work from all over Canada. So I get to meet a ton of different people from all over Canada and even from other parts of the world. So that's been a really inspiring thing for me, being here and seeing the city diversify and grow.
As Randelle grew up in the energetic city, the changes in her lifetime have been remarkable.
The biggest changes I've seen since my youth, well, the town itself is growing. The diversity of people has really blossomed in the past, I would say especially in the past 10 years. There's just more life in the town. It's interesting to see people come in and people stay.
Now, with a network of a growing town increasing the yoga community, she has students of all levels. And as a teacher, she explains that no matter how difficult or basic the poses are, there is so much more going on that may not be visible to the naked eye.
So downward dog is one of the big poses that you'll see in yoga advertisements. It's a pretty basic looking pose, but it's actually, technically it's a very layered pose. So you start with just your hips up in the air, and so it's like an upside down V shape. And so a lot of people think that they have to get their heels on the ground, but the idea is that you want to lengthen your spine and stretch the muscles along your back and build in the core strength. So a long back, to me, is the primary focus of the downward dog, and then eventually the legs will start to open and you start to stretch open the hamstrings.
Starting with downward dog and then growing from there, her student skill level has increased so much that Randelle has to keep it fresh for her regulars.
The studio has grown a lot over the past couple of years. One direction that we've gone into is we've become a registered yoga school with the Yoga Alliance.
Along with instructing daily classes, she is also training the first batch of students that will soon be certified yoga instructors. Randelle also says to watch out for a new sign going up in her school's window.
Something else that's recently developed is we are changing our studio name. So we're kind of moving away from under the yoga tree. It's been a process for the past couple months, and we're moving into a new studio name, not a new studio space, but new studio name.
The studio name to be unveiled this fall.